Welcome, Real Life Nation, to another interview with yet another funded trader. Today we have our special guest, Chris Remboldt. Chris, how you feeling today?
Fantastic.
Awesome. Awesome. Congratulations again on getting funded. I hear it was pretty easy. You just clicked a few buttons and magic happened. Is that how it works, or a little more to it?
Most of it was mental, but the actual physical actions which I took were simple and low calorie.
Look, that's awesome. Well, tell the audience here a little bit about you, where you live, like what you do full time, all the things. Give us the details.
Excellent. So I live in Nashville, Tennessee with my wife and my dog. And what I do right now is kind of non-specific. I do a lot of things, but most of it boils down to creating code and using artificial intelligence and just creating cool creative projects with my wife. We build web apps right now for the graphic design community. I do the development work, and she does the community building and sales work of that. Previously, I've been a self-employed health insurance agent, and before that, I was in a corporate sales job. But I was homeschooled, and that led me to desire a lot of freedom, to really value personal freedom as one of the top things in my life. And so this this funded account really aligns with my beliefs and mission for myself.
Gotcha. Awesome. And tell us a little bit about what specific strategies, like what did you do? How did you approach kind of getting this account funded, growing that 10%?
Yeah, so I took your class. So for the audience, Matt teaches a class that shows you how to use trading bots and how to also run back tests with those. So I used a couple of the bots that Matt provided during his class. He actually provided us four bots in this class, and they have various strategies that do various things. But in the broker that is used with them, you can set different settings within the broker and run a back test across whatever time frame you want. And there are like tens of thousands of possible permutations that you could have. So you can back test all these settings over the course of, depending how fast your computer is, a few minutes or a few hours, and see, okay, there's thousands of different ways to configure this tool. And here are the top ones that create the least amount of loss chunks at a time. So it's called max drawdown. And that's how you break your funded account, is you draw down too much and then it cancels it out to try again. And that is something that happened on one of my practice accounts, and that's okay. But on my funded account, I was fortunate enough to deploy a strategy that historically did not have a lot of loss on it and had a decent amount of profit, and it worked for the assessment as well. And so that's how I hit that 10% target.
And I hear that you have a certain favorite stock. Is that true that you like to run this on? Tell us a little bit about that and why you're so passionate about it.
I just can't stop being a Tesla fanboy, and for some reason, their stock trades in such a way that the trading bots are able to very effectively take advantage of Tesla's stock moves. And due to their nature of being a very innovative company, there's a lot of swings in public perception of the company and what its future could be. And so there's large swings in value of the stock. There are big runs and big runs down and long accumulations, but have lots of turbulence inside of that. And so that's perfect for a bot. And while I do love Tesla, it just so happens to be a great stock for these bots. They love it.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. And also, side note, you were one of the few, was a year or two ago, got to go to the Tesla annual shareholder conference. I haven't
I
met
did.
anyone except you who've done that. How was that? I want to go one day.
That was absolutely incredible. They highly value their shareholders. That's one of my goals for this funded account, actually, is to create cash flow with which to accumulate Tesla stock. I can't think of anything else that I would want to buy right now, just because I have been very familiar with what they're doing, and I have been to the factory, and I went to the Cyber Rodeo, which was their Austin factory opening event, and uh, the shareholder meeting as well last year. And I just believe very strongly in what they're doing. So it's kind of cool to have a bot trading the stock and creating profits so that I can buy shares of that company.
Sure. Yeah. And you probably know this, but you were, of course, influential in me actually purchasing not just the shares, but the actual vehicle, the product itself in my garage right now. So thank you for that.
Yes, yes, we love our Tesla. It's the best
Awesome.
car we've ever had.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, tell us a little bit about like, was this your first attempt, second attempt? How many accounts did it take for you to get funded to pass that 10%?
This was the first assessment that I have taken, and I was fortunate enough to pass it on the first try. And I was very meticulous in which strategies I wanted to run. And there were also times that I was tempted while those strategies were running in the assessment to manually take over and take the profit.
Mm.
And instead of doing that, my wife would just say, "You trust the system, right? You tested how this works in the past, right?" It's like, "Yes." She was like, "Go meditate." She literally said, "Just go meditate." And I was literally meditating when it hit the profit target.
Awesome. Yeah, sometimes our wives are that common sense like voice in our head, like, don't do anything, just let it do its thing.
Yeah,
Awesome. Yeah.
it's the
And
voice
so
we wish
how
we had.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And so tell us a little bit about how like how long did that take? Like number of trades. Do you remember how many days that took? Calendar days or trading
It was
days?
14 days, 14 calendar days,
Okay.
and it took 8 trades.
8 trades. There you go. So obviously you
Yes.
had more than a 1.0 risk, 1.0 profit taker or R profit target. What did that look like? Probably a two or three
So
or something.
I was running two strategies. One of them has a 1.5 profit taker. So
Okay.
once you're at 1.5 your risk amount, it takes the profit on that one. The other one is a strategy known as snapback, which is a real life trading favorite. And that one has a profit target of 4. And that
Oh,
actually hit. And that one only trades on Mondays and Fridays with
yeah.
Tesla because for some reason it doesn't work as well in other ones, which is why you do back testing. The moral of the
Sure.
story there is do lots of back testing. But that one actually hit, I think, 2 or 3 times in a row and made 4 Rs like uh, pretty much every time it ran,
Sure.
which was very helpful for actually reaching the funded target.
Right. Awesome. Cool. And so you mentioned Snapback. What was the other bot that you used?
It's
Was
called NR7,
okay.
the
Yep.
narrow range 7. It
Yep.
is I believe it is one of your special strategies, actually.
It is. Yeah. And a lot of people think I just make up some of this. They're actually well-known things you can Google. It's
Yeah,
not just something I made. It was one of the very first strategies years ago that I kind of locked onto and latched onto. I'm like, this is actually really, really interesting. And
I'm
so
really glad you made a bot out of it.
yeah, yeah, I get tired of manually, like manually typing in orders is like so 2020, right? 2022. We're in 2023 now. Let's go.
Yeah,
Yeah. And so a few things you said there just to explain to the audience is, as you guys know, the risk calculation, the risk unit, the R size is typically like 1% of your account. So for easy math, $100,000, you're risking $1,000 per trade. And what Chris is saying is that he used a 4R target or a 1.5, depending on which bot he's using. And so the other thing is obviously you can run certain bots on certain days and others on other days, which is what you said. I think you told me there's one day of the week that it just wasn't trading. So you're only trading 4 days of the week. And how did you come to that conclusion? Well, you ran the back test, right? And those back tests gave you
correct.
the intelligence, the templates that you can build for settings to kind of run those. Hey, this has worked historically really well the past 6 weeks or 8 weeks or X number of time frame, and then using that going into the future, right? So, cool, man. That's awesome. So, any final parting advice you would give to the real life nation? Anyone who's not yet blown up their account, but yet not yet funded, somewhere between that -6% or +10%, somewhere in that no man's land. Any advice or counsel or strategic suggestions you would give to anyone?
Yes, I have lost about $40,000 on the stock market between 2020 and 2022. It was all manually trading. It was all say just flying by the seat of my pants. Very little of it was actually disciplined. And the difference here is that I have identified a strategy after doing lots of homework and back testing on that strategy. And I have deployed the strategy and not touched it once it's running. I have robotically stuck to the plan. And that is why I believe it worked. So the advantage of running bots and running it in the broker and system that Matt teaches is that you can test thousands of different settings for each bot across whatever time frame you want to, and identify something that consistently works. Once you identify something that consistently works, you can upload that to your account and it will consistently do that. And yes, you can look in on it and say, hey, it's in the middle of a trade and it's losing or it's winning. But you have to distance yourself from that and say, okay, I'm going to stick to the plan. So,
Right.
in short, find a strategy, make sure that it consistently works with back testing, and stick to it.
Right. Awesome. Cool. Well, thank you so much for sharing your journey, Chris. Again, congratulations on getting funded. And I hope to have a lot more interviews with a lot more people who are getting funded from the bot mentorship class. So thanks so much. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. My pleasure. Thank you.